What's up, nerds? As you can see, I'm still not ready to be back fully on camera yet. And I don't think anyone gives a shit. That's fine. Today is a big day. Some might even call it the day. I totally fries. Hello, totally fries. So, sorry, you couldn't see that on camera, but I did a big stretch. That must seem really strange on with this PNG tuber thing. But this will probably be the last day that I'll need this, God willing. I'm wondering if I'm looking at it talking now, and I'm wondering if I should have done the cut like a single pixel higher, so that it looks like I have teeth both both on the top and the bottom of my mouth. I also think it doesn't matter. I'm kind of noticing too that I have, if you kind of squint your eyes, I've got like the weird god from Monty Python kind of a thing going on, like his son. Must be a coincidence. How are you doing, Totally Fries? How is your neck of the woods doing today? I'm a little excited. I'm a little excited because you're cooking. What are you cooking? What you have to add this into the chat. What you're cooking? I've been waiting for this one for a bit because this is a game. Some of my best videos have come from games that I encountered randomly. Eva Cash was one I encountered while shopping on Vinted. The Hamlet game. Same. You know? Just absurdity that I find. This one, found it on a fucking... in a thrift store, like literally a little over a month ago. And I was like, oh, okay, weird looking game. And then I took a closer look at it and I went like, what is this? This is going to be the big video of the year. But it's going to require a lot of research on my part, careful analysis, sensitive writing, and also, most importantly, the game itself. I don't know. I don't know how good the game is. If it's any good or exciting, or it does what it's supposed to. But scraps from the fridge, yummy. But the other thing is, this is a type of game that I don't have a lot of familiarity with. Now, that being said, the game comes with several manuals. Does that make it better? I don't know. Stream notes. The game comes with several manuals and a like interactive help file called the Resistopedia. But it is also specifically made as a teaching tool, so I have a feeling it'll be somewhat lenient. And I have to start writing notes. Comes with several manuals, including interactive Resistopedia. It's a strategy game. It's a turn-based strategy game, and I just don't have a lot of experience with that, to be perfectly honest. Like, I'm an action gamer, you know? I've got very high tier ADHD. I like to see stuff happening on my screen and to be able to react to it immediately. That's why I vibe with racing games so much. Because a racing game, you're always moving. There's always something happening. It's always going forwards. I think my my experience with strategy games is a little bit of Civilization, and let's get something nicer. A little bit of Civilization, and DEFCON. You remember DEFCON? That's not so this. Okay, so just for the record, if you're listening, I can't show it on camera, unfortunately. But what we're playing today is called A Force More Powerful, the Game of Non-Violent Strategy. Now, it is based off of a documentary covering several non-violent resistance movements, from Gandhi all the way to, like, Polish unionizers, Danish anti-Nazi resistance, all that kind of stuff. Some civil rights stuff in there. What was the most recent one? The movie's from like the year 2000. And what makes it a very fascinating game is that it's published by a non-profit organization called the International Center on Nonviolent Conflict. How many games do you know that have been published by weird, quote-unquote, international, yet Washington, D.C. based think tanks that may or may not have connections to the CIA? Now, all that detail is stuff that I am going to go into in the video, as you'll surely be aware of, and that'll be months from now. But I've got this game now. It's a turn-based strategy game in which you coordinate a non-violent resistance movements against various oppressive regimes. There's 10 scenarios in there, and from what I've read in the manual, this is a really thick 100-page manual. It basically is about coordinating resources, strategically using stuff like strikes or sabotage or classic non-violent tactics to accomplish your goals of not necessarily toppling the regime, but at least, like, every scenario has its own goal. It could be just to not have a certain law passed. It could be to topple the regime. It could be anything in between. So it's quite a fascinating thing to have, It's quite a fascinating artifact. I'm just gonna have to figure out how to play it. And my goal was initially to play this in secret, because it was such a fascinating game. From when is the game? The game was released in the year 2005. A good era. Deep into the War on Terror. So I was gonna initially play it in secret because I wanted it to be a surprise. But as I was reading the manual, as I was going through it, I kind of realized that it seemed very intimidating. And I think what I might need... The game has difficulty settings, but what I might need is a little bit of help. Potentially from people in chat who are a little more well-versed in strategy games, turn-based strategy, grand strategy, maybe even? I don't know how grand the strategy is. It's not generational or anything. It's not... We're not doing Crusader King style stuff, but there's going to be decisions to be made. The game judges you based on your actions. What I'm going to start with is actually, can I start the game? Game small. it is. Let's turn the music off. What I'm going to start with is there's not a tutorial mission, but there is a mission in the manual. This is a little loud. Can you even hear it? Did I even add the sound? I didn't add the sound. Hold on. Hold on. I done messed up. Hey, Sally. Hello, Sally. My dear friend Sally, the VIP. Still no camera. There's still a little bit of a thingy on my lip. Next week, it'll be gone. A force more powerful. There we go. We have audio now. We have audio now. And let me just lower it a little. That thingy, it came back with a vengeance, unfortunately. Okay. Let that load. I need the recording to be good. Well, the worst part is I can't do any kissing. So this is a force more powerful, the game of non-violent strategy. Oh, did I even read the whole manual? The manual is so fucking big, dudes. But I think we're gonna learn by playing. So, the manual shows it's not a tutorial, but there is a scenario that it kind of puts you through the paces. What page is this? 10? Okay. Hold on. Wait, do I have a PDF of the manual? Hold on. Editor's guide, player's guide. I do have a PDF of the manual. Like this is the manual. It says here 125 pages. You know, it goes on for a bit. Oh, desktop game big. It goes on for a bit. For quite a bit. Although to be fair, I think the final pages are like a quick start thing. Or not? 112. Wait, is this longer than... No, the paper manual is 117, 116. And this is not in the appendices. Look, I don't play games that have this kind of shit in them, you know? That's just generally not something that I do. Because that's for nerds. You know, that's for nerds. Run a window, terminate a window, close. Is there a way for me to keep it running? Nah. But I have the paper manual right in front of me, and it basically says instead of a tutorial, the manual runs you through a scenario. So that's what we'll do. Oh yeah, that's my notes. You don't need to see that anymore. We can go back to the game. Options. Why is there like a little cursor flickering over here? Just use Windows cursor. Wasn't there is a difficulty. Oh, let's do the credits real quick. So I'll have that in the file. Nope, let's not do the credits with the cursor being all fucked up. This game was a little bit of a troubled thing to run, as you could imagine. Bob McNamara. Jeff Smith. Music copyright 2005 JDK Music. So I might have trouble with the music. If I get a copyright thing on this stream, then I'll know. So we'll do new conflict. And we'll pick the scenario. Corruption is stealing. Scenario number 2. Scenario description starts January 1st, 2005, ends January 6th, 2006. Complexity low. This game uses entirely fictional countries and regimes because politics is scary. The government of Slovakia has been trying to end local corruption, but in the city of Grbac, Mayor Gavrilovic and his administration still accept bribes. Last week, student leader Slobodan Popovic published a story in the school paper in which he humiliated the mayor. He was promptly arrested on false charges, but Gavrilovic denies that the arrest was political. As an advisor to the disorganized student movement, can you get Popovic released from jail and rally the citizens of Grbac against corruption? And then there's difficulty settings. Very easy to brutal. So we're gonna click on start. Start conflict. With a quote from Nelson Mandela. No. Also, we're going to be doing a lot of reading, and I'm expecting, I don't know, 5 to 8 streams of this game because I want to get in as detailed as possible, and it's not going to be a very quick game. And extra bonus, the game has a scenario editor. And I thought that it would be really cool for the video if we made a custom scenario that may or may not reflect current day issues, let's say. Corruption is stealing. Background, demographics, geographic, societal. Oof. Grbac is a small city in the country of Slovakia in Eastern Europe. The citizens of Grbac are generally literate, hard-working, practical people. Most of the older adults finished high school, then went on to work in the city's motorcycle manufacturing plant or in retail. Can you read this, by the way? How is this like looking on screen? Because the game does not have resolution options whatsoever. And my... Okay, it looks okay on YouTube. Many of their children have attended or are still attending the city's small university. Some recent graduates started a small web design company, which is quickly becoming well known at a national level because of their quality work. Despite the successes of these various businesses, most of the people of Grbac live a hand-to-mouth existence because of the ever-changing variety of taxes, fees, and other payoffs demanded by city officials and their strong-arm minions, the police. The mayor of Grbac, Radomir Gavrilovic, is a holdover from more corrupt times. He and his cronies have not been pleased with recent national reforms that are attempting to address rampant corruption at all levels. Accustomed to their bribe income, they have money and power to lose with the new transparency laws. They are determined to hold on to the old ways, no matter the cost to Grbac's citizens. Unfortunately for those in charge, the national reforms have given the citizens of Grbac a taste of freedom, and they want more. How dare they? Last week, student leader Slobodan Popovic published an inflammatory satire in the school paper portraying the mayor in a less than flattering manner. When a morning DJ on WBRK radio unexpectedly read the satire over the air, Gavrilovic could no longer ignore the budding student movement. Gavrilovic insists Popovic's recent arrest on misdemeanor charges is not political, but in actuality he sees this as an opportunity to flex his muscles and remind the citizens of Grbac who is in charge. However, the judge who approved Popovich's imprisonment is becoming increasingly unsettled by the growing difference between the city and national attitudes surrounding corruption. As an advisor to the stunned and disorganized student movement, your objective is not only to secure Popovich's immediate release, but to use his unfair arrest as a galvanizing point to rally the citizens of Grbach around your anti-corruption cause. To make a lasting change, you can have the city launch a special investigation into corruption, pressure the existing government to change its policy on corruption, force the mayor to resign by chipping away at his support, or win the mayoral office for your movement through a citywide election. So we have goals. Do we have multiple goals? We can victory conditions. Okay. Okay, so it's all formalized. Demographics. City government of Grbach. The city government is a corrupt, shaky collection of old political comrades and business owners held hostage to the endless regulations and bribes they must endure to make a living. Lots of reading. WBRK Radio used to be independent, but Gavrilovich was able to force out the ownership and install Gregory Jones, his cousin's brother-in-law, as station manager. That paved the way for a de facto government takeover of the station. Gregory Jones is the mayor's cousin's brother-in-law. He is telegenic and easygoing, but weak-willed and craven. He may nonetheless be persuaded to support the opposition, but he'll likely be one of the last to jump on the bandwagon. Kate Hirsch has worked at WBRK since before the government takeover. She longs for the freedom to speak her mind on the air. Grbach Municipal Court. The Grbach Municipal Court, like most government institutions, is heavily corrupt, but Boris Staley, despite his fear losing his position, has privately voiced distaste over the things he has had to do to keep the mayor and his cronies in power. Oh god, look at how much shit we have here. Ziva Lahorg. Pick a category of attributes and training. This is for this. Okay, so the city government of Grbach has a lot of influence, a lot of violence intolerance, a lot of violence unwillingness. Policies. Geographic. We have a radio station, we have a university, we have a municipal courthouse, we have the city hall, we have the market. What does it ask us to do? Read this description carefully as it gives you a quick overview. Start conflict. Read the scenario background. We've done that. Okay, mission assessment. Goals, visions. Primary goal. Reduce corruption to well below its current levels. Victory conditions. Free imprisoned student Slobodan Popovich. If you put enough pressure on the government, the mayor may release Popovich as an attempt to quiet you. Alternately, you could attempt a hunger strike with Popovich. The government may release him rather than create a martyr. A7. What are my two other wishes?
Exclamation. Fluff Weasel has resubscribed to the BOBSTREAM and has been a subscriber for 37
For Fluff
months.
Weasel to resubscribe? And 50,000 euros tax-free. One of those has already... Two of my three wishes have come through. That's pretty good. Hi, Fluff. City launches corruption investigation. If you can pull the municipal court and the retailers association from the government And recruit the WBRK radio station to your side so they will publicize the issue. The city will have little choice but to take a step in the right direction. Does this actually tell me what exactly I need to do? I think so. Okay, policy change corruption. Occurrence is surprising. The head councilman will put this reform through if his support for your movement is substantial or more, with an enthusiasm of high or better, and if the judge who imprisoned Popovich is also persuaded to align with the movement. Force Mayor Gravilovic's resignation. If the municipal court and the city police both desert the government and the city council's regime support is eroded to low or worse, then the mayor will see his administration crumbling around him and resign. Vision of tomorrow and mission statements. Can I type here? For some reason, I can type here. Pillars of support. City council. City government of... Okay, freedom from corruption. That's our movement. We have the web design group and the University Student Association. The city council office supports the government, obviously. The rest of them can be moved. Public influence, little economic well-being. Use a drop-down letter between pillars of support are groups that are critical to the survival of the alliance. Click on the group name to mark a group as a pillar of support. Click again to unmark. Strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I guess I can take notes here. Probably won't do that due to attention span issues, though. That's cool. You can take notes. Strengths and weaknesses. Assumptions of constraints. Movement manifesto. Do these matters? Occurrence is shocking. The degree to which the regime ignores cronyism. Okay, I don't know. Courses of action. Oh my god. There's so much more to this game than I thought. Read the scenario background. Victory conditions. Review the goals you must achieve. There are a lot of other things you could do on the strategic estimate screen, and once you get familiar with how to play, we highly recommend you read Chapter 5 and learn more about how you use the strategic estimate plan. Choose and prioritize victory. Select victory conditions located in the middle of the right-hand page. This takes you to the Operational Plan tab. The list of victory conditions. The victory conditions tab is part of the strategic estimate. There are 10 of these. This is one of the simple ones. I just realized I don't need to completely play through all of them. I could play through like 4 or 5 of the ones that look the most interesting. And I'd be okay with that. If this takes 10 streams, I'm not going to do it, you know? Select victory conditions. The victory conditions tab is part of the strategy. Here, you will select victory conditions or goals that you will try to achieve in the scenario. First, review your primary goal and objectives. Primary goal and objectives. Reduce corruption to well below its current levels. They're listed on the left side of the screen. Then move to the right-hand page to view and select the list of victory conditions. For now, disregard the Vision of Tomorrow section in the bottom left corner. More information about that can be found in Chapter 5. Okay. Primary goal, reduce corruption to well below its current levels. Free imprisoned student Slobodan Popovic. If you put enough pressure on the government, the mayor may release Popovic as an attempt to quiet you. Alternately, you could attempt a hunger strike. Oh, we read this already. Yeah. Okay, what's review? For some reason I can type here. Oh, that's my vision of tomorrow. Goals vision. Select desired victory conditions. Choose at least one victory condition by selecting them and then clicking the add button. Pick those you think will be most beneficial to achieve as part of your strategic plan. Does feel like a classroom. Your primary goal in this scenario is to reduce Gorbachev corruption to well below its current level. You do this by trying to achieve up to 4... It's not a very spreadsheets game. I think once we get into the gameplay, you'll see. You do this by trying to achieve up to 4 main victory conditions. They are: free imprisoned student, force the city to launch a corruption investigation, force a policy change wherein corruption is deemed unacceptable, force the mayor to resign. The designer of this scenario has picked these 4 objectives for you to try to obtain. Some or all may be achievable, and others may not be achievable within the given time frame. But as the movement planner, you have to decide which are the best for your cause based on your assessment of your movement's capabilities and how realistic and achievable you feel the objectives are. After reading the scenario description, you may decide that it's feasible only to try to free the imprisoned student, or perhaps you'd prefer to work towards the mayor's resignation. These decisions are yours entirely, and what you choose and how you go about achieving these objectives will determine your success or failure. This is where strategic planning begins, defining objectives that are achievable with the resources available and then planning a strategy to achieve them. You choose your own, you choose your own victory conditions? Stream 1, 1203. The strategic estimate is important in this process, for you can use it to completely define your movement's manifesto and its goals. For your purposes here, however, we will choose to add all 4 of the conditions listed so that you can see how the process works. Okay. I could do that. Add. Right. Why is it necessary to prioritize your victory conditions? Aren't they all equally important? Yes and no. As the movement planner, you must be practical and you must improve your strategic thinking by looking at your objective and deciding which are the most important and achievable at a given time. Many real-world movements fail because their leadership tries to accomplish too much too soon. Be practical and take time to consider your most important goals and then plan to achieve them based on your analysis of the information in the scenario. So I need to put policy change below... Okay, that's what it wants me to do. Once your condition list matches the above, select the Back to Game button in the bottom center to start the game. Loading time may take several minutes. Go to game. Oh, what's phases and objectives? This is more... Oh my god. Select a phase. Review your selected course of action and pick the objectives that you wish to employ. Policy, focus, gain support, raise money. These are like sub-goals, I suppose. Oh. Okay. Remind me that I am playing through what is basically the tutorial, so I don't need to understand the full game yet, because that is the whole point. Is to not have to understand everything from the very beginning. I used to have this problem at school too. I'd start a new course and I'd be like, I'd open the book and I'd be like, why don't I understand all of this? Because the point is to understand it later. Not right now in this very moment when you start, but after. Okay, go to game. Now, as you can see, we have a 3D world. Look, it's SimCity. Gorbachev edition. Can I move with the arrow keys? Yes, okay. Because the movement with Doing like this is okay. I can make that work. So this is the main kind of way you interact with the game. You have places. Those places have like a level of influence, I think. And groups that work inside of them. What is this? Support overlay. This is how much support the government of Grbach has. So that's my enemy. This is my group. All right. This is demographics, enthusiasm, fear, unemployment, economic well-being, health, literacy. Okay. These are building labels. So it's building labels and there's area labels. And the areas have what buildings they have inside of them. Downtown has substantial support for the regime and little support for the movement. Target the neighborhood with a tactic. And you can look. You can add notes to places and things. What is that? Uptown and downtown. Okay. Close. This is the zoom level. How much detail do we have? We have little guys. We have little sprites walking a little awkwardly. I gotta say, does he go into the building? Yes, technically. He goes through it. Are there vehicles anywhere? I mean, I hear a lot of oh, there are vehicles. Check it out. That's a little truck. Can the humans be clicked on? No. Can the truck be clicked on? No. Most of this is just for show, I think. There's a little car. You have to, I think you have to see this as representational, right? The map is not the territory. Map is more representational than a real depiction of place. Map is not the territory. Okay. Luckily it's turn-based, but because we have a whole lot of stuff going on here. We have a date here. We have the city we're in. We have unemployment level, we have inflation level, we have money, and we have what I assume is how much support we have. Then we have the logo of the game for some reason. Click here to choose the tactic coordinator. Click here to choose a tactic. Click here to choose a target. A bunch of buttons. Messages. This is time. Organization screen. Okay. DJs, university web designers, motorcycle manufacturers. We have people. This is tactics queue. That's Popovich, who's in prison. I have nothing completed. Is this a chart? Message history, information screen. Tactics queue. Strategic estimate, that goes back to our stuff. This is the city map. In more complex scenarios, you can go to a country map. But that's not the case for this one. And this is game options. We don't need to worry about that. And then this is help. That launches... I think that launches in normal Windows, that would launch the what is called the Resistopedia, and that looks a little bit like this, which is like a interactive help thingy. Oligarchic. In an alliance with an oligarchic decision-making style, the alliance leader and a close cabal of influential advisors make decisions that are carried out by the rest of the alliance. City map, buildings, etc. You get the. Can I minimize you at all? Can I remove you just so I can film this better? I just want to have a good some good footage. Persuasion time. Okay. I'm going to keep you open just in case I need you. Desktop, game small. All right. Let's go back to the manual. This one scenario might take the entire stream. Game screen. So, status bar, blah, 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 blah. Before we continue, let's review some definitions, as these represent the core elements that comprise a force more powerful. Every scenario in a force more powerful is constructed such that you have two opposing alliances, the movement versus the regime. Each alliance is composed of like-minded characters and groups. The character. A character is a person who belongs to a particular group and may also belong to a particular alliance. Some characters, so that's like these guys, right? Characters. Although here too you see characters, right? So Alex Grant is a member of the City Council office and the city government of Grbach. The group is a collection of characters that are brought together by common interests, aspirations, emotional bonds, or economic or political necessity. A police force, such as the city police of Grbach in this scenario, is considered a group. Do we have police? Yeah. An alliance is a collection of groups with a like-minded purpose. The Freedom from Corruption movement in this scenario is considered an alliance. The regime is an alliance of characters and groups supporting the ruling body and is, in essence, your opponent. In this scenario, the regime is called the government of Grbach. The movement is called Freedom from Corruption. The movement is an alliance of characters and groups that supports your goal objectives. You are the behind-the-scenes planner of the movement. Members of the movement are at your disposal to perform tactics. A tactic is an action taken by a character to support the larger strategic goals and objectives of his or her group and alliance. For example, mass protest is a tactic in the game. Review the assets of the movement and the regime. Before you begin assessing tactics to your movement leaders, however, let's review the assets of both the movement and the regime. This is a common step in real-life strategic planning and non-violent struggle. To do this, select the organization button. Okay, we have it. Color code indicates group and character standing and support on various issues. Yeah. This is them. This is us. Freedom. And this is the general public. The regime has the support of 5 different groups: Grbach Municipal Court, CRT, City Council Office, CNCL, City Police, POL, WBRK Radio, DJs, and the Retailers Association, RTL. The movement is currently smaller with only 2 groups, the University Student Association and the Web Design Group. Also shown are the general public and an unaligned group, the motorcycle manufacturers. Okay, so this is the general public. There's no one in there. No people in there. The motorcycle manufacturer at least has someone. Who is this? And that someone is part of the regime? At your disposal are 6 characters, 3 in the University Student Association, 1 at the Web Design Group, and 2 standalone characters whose groups are currently aligned with the regime. So these are people who are... Oh, interesting. So John Duval. Oh my god. Doesn't like torture. Economics. Key. Close. John Duval is a member of the municipal court. He's a member of an organization which is a part of the regime, but as an individual, hey Niall, as an individual, how are you doing? As an individual, he is part of our movement. So he's kind of an insider, potentially. He's someone we can use. But is he also something that the regime can use? I don't know. Okay. These characters characters comprise the leadership or the generals in your movement. Other persons involved in your movement are displayed in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, the status bar, and represent the unnamed captains and lieutenants in your alliance who assist in the preparation and execution of tactics. Only the leadership can conduct tactics, though all members are involved in the implementation of those tactics. Okay, so these people are leadership, and this number 16 is like total people available for tactics per day. So those are unnamed goons. In case I need, like I have, okay. Oof. A group's leading member, or leader, is the character leftmost displayed. Thus, Nicoleta Pantic is the leader of the University Student Association and is, for all intents and purposes, the key member of your movement. She is the so-called go-to person in terms of conducting many of your movement's official main tactics. All categories FCC overall. Where's that? What is this? Okay. Oh, I can filter. Notice that all characters and groups are color-coded. The color code runs from dark green to red. For our purposes, however, simply know that dark green means that the character group heavily supports the topic that is displayed in the screen's heading. And the red means that the character group has low support for the topic displayed in the screen's heading. By default, the support levels for your movement, which is called Freedom from Corruption, are displayed. So I can also say, how much are you into civil service hiring? Or what are your training levels for support and logistics? Or what's your fear? Oh my god, what's your enthusiasm? No, not all categories. Oh god. How do I go back? Enthusiasm. Competencies. Any competency. How competent are they? Like, Ivan Varumich is not competent in anything. Everyone else is competent. Policies. Border control and immigration. Economic well-being. Okay, well, how do I get back to the default? It was, policy? Policies? Support levels. FCC overall. FFC. There are various gradations of color in between to reflect different levels of support. In this corruption scenario, notice that the Student University Association, light green, supports the Freedom from Corruption Alliance. Right. The University Student Association is not the same as the entire movement. And indeed, 2 of its membership strongly support it. In contrast, the Grbach police group is predominantly orange, indicating low support of the movement. They support the regime. As alluded to above, some characters can be either unaligned or they can support an alliance in opposition to the group in which they belong. These character silhouettes are white, and if you move the mouse arrow over them, their normal black silhouettes will highlight as well, showing exactly where their support lies. Now that we have assessed the situation and know where all characters and groups stand, we can begin to assign tactics. Who's ready to assign some tactics, baby? Choose a tactic coordinator. As the movement leader, your responsibility is to achieve the strategic goals. This manual is huge, and it's a little... It could have been less verbose. The manual is too verbose, I think. I'm going to write that down. Manual is just way too verbose and full of redundant text. Makes the game seem more complex than it is. Wish the tutorial was just in game so I could learn while playing, since the game is all about learning anyway. Am I right, fellas? Am I right? Okay. You do this through the use of tactics. For a full list and description of all tactics, see the Resistopedia, which is an option within the game that gives you detailed information about how the game works and the different tactics in the game. Now, the Resistopedia doesn't seem that detailed, to be honest. But in short, a tactic is a tool used in an attempt to strengthen your movement and or weaken your opponent. So think of it like chess. Think of it like chess moves or something. A tactic is either something that strengthens you, your movement, or affiliated groups, or weakens the adversary. Right? I'm trying to make it more simple than this manual describes. Quite literally, tactics are non-violent weapons used against the regime either directly or indirectly. A tactic used directly against the regime would be, for example, holding a mass protest or harassing a regime official. A tactic used indirectly against the regime would be raising money for your movement, which opposes the regime, or training your movement's members in non-violent intervention, which are high-risk tactics in non-violent action that disrupt the opponent directly. Training in this allows members of your movement to carry out disciplined non-violent action with less likelihood of it evolving into... Regardless, the purpose of any tactic that you initiate is to strengthen the movement or to weaken the regime. In the bottom center of the screen, right here, rests the Tactics Control panel. This is where you will assign a tactic coordinator. A tactic, coordinator, tactic, and a target. Although you can select these options in any order you wish, the best policy is to first select a coordinator. The characters available to make these assignments are your movement leaders. To pick a coordinator, click here to choose your coordinator. This opens a notebook listing your movement leaders. There's so many notebooks. This is very much like how I do my work. The current head of your movement, Nicoleta Pantic, is listed second under Municipal Court member John Duval. Go ahead and select her by clicking on her portrait. The selection circles should appear over her portrait. Her attributes are then listed on the right hand side. Let's take a minute to review her characteristics. My voice is going to be absolutely fucked after this stream. All characters have a set of attributes that define who they are and what their qualities are. For Nicoleta, her public profile is marked in orange, meaning that she isn't very well known. So public profile is popularity, essentially, right? But she's capable of having influence over the public. That's interest. Charisma, I guess? That's what you would call that? And her enthusiasm for the movement itself is very high. Enthusiasm. What would enthusiasm... That's enthusiasm. Whatever, that works on its own. Nicoleta also has a number of competencies that make her an excellent leader. Writing, charisma, vision, empathy. Okay. Well, yeah. And... she also has creativity and street smarts. Does the Resistopedia say anything about this? Alliances, characters, competencies, personal qualities, charisma. If an alliance leader has charisma, tactics take somewhat less persuasion time. Okay. Intelligence, vision, creativity, street smarts. Street smarts very important to have for any situation. These competencies play a very important role in how successful a character is conducting tactics. See, this is the kind of manual this is. See 4.32 and the appendix of the AFMP Player's Guide on the CD-ROM for more information. Nicoletta is also skilled in nonviolent intervention and support and logistics training, so she's a good candidate for training tactics. Clicking the More Information button, there we go, will open up an even greater list of attributes and data on Miss Pantic, but we won't worry about that now. Location, leader of, regime support. Well, of course she has very little support for the resistance, for the regime. Policy preferences, oh my god. Has no predominant ethnicity. Yeah, me neither. Let's give Nicoletta her first assignment. To do this, double-click on her portrait, or select the OK button in the bottom right-hand corner. Doing so closes the leadership display, places Nicoletta's portrait in the coordinator spot on the tag. Choose a tactic. Now that you have a coordinator, you must choose a tactic. There are a lot of different tactics to choose from. Which tactics to pick and when to apply it is the biggest challenge in a force more powerful, and the more you play to understand how things work, the more proficient you will become. For now, let's start slow and have Nicoletta raise some money through the tactic of fundraising. Would that be in build strength? Fundraise, yes, the first one. The stark reality is that alliances need money to pay for materials and other logistics requirements. Thus, you must fundraise. This is one of the few tactics that an exiled character can be tasked with, as well as other available characters. Anyone tasked with fundraising will lose a little enthusiasm to begin with. You're more likely to get aid from groups that already support you, but don't be too greedy. No one likes to be asked for money repeatedly. Cost 0, obviously. There's also a people cost, so that people, the little blue character thing, is a resource. Duration. We need 0 days to agree on this tactic because because you're a resistance movement, so you need time to agree on this tactic. Travel time. Prep time. Prepare for 3 days. This tactic will last 14 days. Okay. Tactic, resource expenditure, duration. This section is interactive in that you can adjust the values that appear in the bottom 3 listings. The duration of a tactic is important to consider carefully, and the full explanation of this can be found in chapters 3 and 4. Everything can be found in chapters 3 and 4, apparently. In short, the up and down carrots, you can indicate the number of days that the character should wait before planning the tactic, the number of days to prepare for the tactic, and how many days the tactic will last before it completes. Right. Because I guess you can chain tactics, is the idea. The default setting for the fundraiser is 3 days for prep and 14 days for duration, which means that Ms. Pantich would be tied up for 17 days preparing and conducting the event, but we want her to be available for further operations sooner, so let's reset these numbers. For our fundraiser, we will set the preparation time to 5 days, whatever that does, and does the preparation time like charge? And decrease the number of days the tactic will last to 3 days. Which means that Nicoletta Pantich will be tied up for only 8 days planning and implementing the fundraiser. While Nicoletta works on the fundraiser, she can be given other tactics, but she will not be able to begin them until she finishes her duties on the fundraiser. Let's click OK. Now we need to choose a target. Geographic. Interesting. Click here to choose a target. Blah, 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 blah. Since Miss Pantich is a member of the student group, let's choose it as the target of our fundraiser. Yeah. Has a lot of movement support, right? The name of a target, what kind of group, its leader, where it's located, blah, blah, blah. Select OK. Need some noise. Review your... Okay, so this is interesting. Review your decision with movement leaders. Once all 3 areas of the tactics control panel are filled, the small sidebar next to the target area highlights with a green arrow, submit tactic, that's this. A red chalkboard eraser, which means clear tactic, and either a green dot, a yellow triangle, or a red stop sign. This area gives you the opportunity to submit your tactic for implementation. Delete the tactic that you've selected or survey the viability of the tactic with your movement leader. See, you already said that. Let's take a survey first. To get the opinion of leaders, select the green survey button. I guess this is the survey button. Fundraising is a very popular tactic in your movement, so it's full speed ahead with this one. If the survey button had been a yellow triangle, then some of your leaders would blah blah blah. If it had been a red stop sign, the majority would have not liked your decision. The opinions of your leaders are important to consider before submitting a tactic, because if the majority of them do not like the tactic you've selected, there's probably a good reason why. You do not have to take the advice of your leaders, but it's a good idea to at least listen to their concerns. We should definitely go ahead with this tactic. Take it easy, Fries. We should definitely go ahead. They have no, okay. But fundraising is a very useful tactic, so let's go ahead and submit it. To do this, select the green arrow. Tactic has been submitted. Is there a list of tactics somewhere? Is there like a place where I can see what tactics I've submitted? Nope, that's options. Let's save. I don't know if this game will crash. It's from 2005. Okay, so that's this. Fundraise, Nicoletta Panchik. Yeah. That's completed. Right. Okay. I can postpone, I can rush. Interesting. Clear the list. No tactics will be deleted. View all of your characters' tactics. Okay. Let's not get overwhelmed now. And now I need to advance the turns. The screen goes black to reveal the number of days have gone past. Blah, 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 blah. You might be interrupted. And then there'll be messages. Okay, so that's advanced time. It is now January 9th. And we have messages. University Student Association funds Freedom from Corruption. Freedom from Corruption raised 6 money from university students. Viktor Stoichko imposes curfew. By implementing curfew in Uptown, Viktor Stoichko is effectively imposing travel restrictions until further notice. City police is not thrilled with the plan, and the people of Uptown resent the intrusion of city government of Grbach. And this is the fundraising campaign. Alright. Before we continue, little bathroom break. Hi. Hope you didn't miss me too much. I'm a little bit lighter and a little bit drier. Sorry, just getting stuff set up. Okay. Oh my god. Hey, Disty. Okay, so we have raised funds. We have read messages. Good news for us, Nicoleta Pantic. This is the game. Disty, we're here. Nicoleta, we're doing a tutorial? Not quite tutorial. It's like in the big giant manual. And it basically runs us through a simple scenario. Look at how many little guys there are walking around over here. So many little guys. Okay. Good news for us. Nicoleta Pantic was successful in raising money from the University Student Association. This money will help us expand our message and fight for the release of our prisoner. This money immediately goes into our treasury in the upper right-hand corner. Notice, however, that your movement has gained more money than acquired through the fundraiser. This is because your affiliated groups automatically earn you monies each week. So you've earned money through your fundraiser and through your groups. Now that your fundraising tactics has been resolved to success, let's assign a couple more tactics. It is possible to select and submit multiple tactics before progressing the turns in the scenario. We will do this below. First tactic, display symbol. Assign Ivan Varumic, who is this guy, this little punky fella, who does not have a very good public profile or influence or enthusiasm, has no competencies, but is good at nonviolent intervention and support logistics. He's just a university student, right? We want to assign him communicate. Communicate tactics enable your alliance members to better communicate with each other, to spread information. Disty, how do you have any experience with like turn-based strategy? Because I'm already like way up in my pants here. Communicate tactics enable your alliance members to better. Okay, so for these streams, I'm gonna need you to be here and guide me because this is like the simple basic Babby scenario. And I'm reading this through the manual, but there's gonna have to be some decisions made. Communicate tactics enable your like look, wait. I need to show you this. This is part of the this is part of the manual. This is an appendix in the manual, the 125-page manual. So it's not a spreadsheet game, but there are charts. There are charts, which I have to run through, and the rest of the manual is just all this crap. But I'm reading through that now. See, Hearts of Iron or Victoria level of in-depth. It might be, it might also be... This is my thing, though. Because the developers of this are just a studio that makes serious games. I have a sense that the actual... Well, there's two levels of this. The manual specifically states... that the game essentially, like the rules, are based on Gene Sharp's book Methods of Nonviolent Action, released in 1973. So I think the core framework is based on something very complex, but I'm wondering if the complexity is deceptive. Because in the end, it's really just... I'm starting to kind of see through the thing. In the end, it's really just like, okay, this is the bad guys, this is the good guys. And it's just about squeezing in as many moves as possible before the time runs out, because every scenario has a time limit. Okay. We have Ivan. We're gonna give him the tactic. Okay, communicate tactics. Enable your alliance members to better communicate with each other, to spread information with the public, to gain their support, and with the opposing alliance, to make your demands clear. Good communication, crucial for success. There's spelling errors all over the place. Spelling errors all over manual and game, but minor ones. It's very text heavy. Supposedly, this game had according to the Wikipedia page, this game had a budget of like $3 million in 2005. What are the win conditions? Okay, I actually have that here. If I know which button. So basically, the situation is these paragraphs of text. Basically, we're in a small Eastern European town. A small town of an Eastern European country that is rapidly modernizing, but the mayor of this town is still very corrupt. A student made a like satirical cartoon or something of him and has been imprisoned. So the victory conditions are: we want to free the student, we want to have the city launch a corruption investigation, we want to make the mayor resign, and we want to change the policy around corruption, whatever that means in the game's parlance. Okay, so communicate tactic of, what's that? Display symbol. A symbol is a powerful communication tool when it becomes associated with the Alliance's message. It projects the image of being everywhere, and because of this, the message gains power. When the public sees the message everywhere, they may fear the regime less. Okay. That's it, right? In downtown is where you want to do it. You don't tell me that, but okay. Okay, and then select geographic neighborhood downtown. Okay. And then there's a stop sign. Because nobody fucking likes this. Even himself is like, nah, this sucks. But that's okay. Yes, this is manpower. This is money. Those are our two resources, essentially. Right? Stuff costs money and manpower. Because here you say display a symbol, costs 3 money and 5 people. Because that's how much it costs to display a symbol. But we're not gonna advance turns yet, because we're gonna press the green. Okay, submit. Right, it's now in the queue. Okay. Second tactic is a hunger strike. How do you make money? One of the tactics is make money. It's fundraise. We did that just before. That was the first thing we did. And also, we get, basically, we get a stipend, I guess, from any organization that we are affiliated with. So we have the University Student Association gives us 2 money and 15 people per week or something like that. And the web design group gives us 10 money and 1 person per week. I'm starting to slowly see the matrix a little bit, you know. Okay. Second tactic is a hunger strike. Before advancing, let's look at it. Slobodan Popovic, the one who's imprisoned. Right? He has a high public profile, obviously. Fame, I guess, is that one. He has competencies in writing. He has no predominant ethnicity, just like me. Okay, Slobodan is sitting in jail but wishes to contribute to cause. He is unlikely to succeed, but he will conduct a hunger strike. What's a hunger strike? Notice, too, that because he's in prison, he doesn't have access to a lot of stuff as communicate. I mean, he'd be better off sending a letter, right? Because he's a good writer, but whatever. Only imprisoned characters can go on a hunger strike. The objective of the hunger strike is to get released from prison, which will result in a large boost of enthusiasm and support for fellow Alliance members, and well as a smaller boost for the people who are not members of the opposing alliance. Okay. The target is Popovich himself. Now it says no target needed for this. Okay. And they also don't like this. Nobody likes this. Even is Popovich in here himself? No. A hunger strike to get released from prison. Yeah. Yeah, that seems to me a little ambitious. Okay. Your leadership thinks this is a pretty poor tactic, but again, that's okay. Go ahead and submit it by clicking this new one. The hunger strike tactic is scheduled to take longer than the display symbol tactic. That's fine. The ability to assign and submit multiple tactics before advancing turns is important to keep in mind. For you can go through all of your members and give them assignments immediately. Yeah, of course. There are vignettes. Alright, it's advanced time. It is now January 13th. Do we advance time again? Yeah. Okay. Confiscation attempt on Gerbach Motorworks block.
Assurance. Today is the day.
Hey, Red. City government of Gerbach tried to grab resources today when they targeted Gerbach Motorworks with confiscation. The threat was not carried out because they got an emergency call and were pulled away at the last minute. City council office became dispirited and began doubting the legitimacy of the regime's rule. Slobodan begins a hunger strike. Graffiti campaign fails. Members of the University Student Association were discouraged when Ivan Varmich was unsuccessful in arranging a graffiti campaign in downtown because he lacks creativity, he has no street smarts, although it is cheap. I like this. The failure note gives me reasons why I failed. Failure message gives me reasons why I fail and thus how I can be more likely to succeed. Banky. Sometimes graffiti is not the best way to get your message across. Freedom from Corruption's message is not compelling enough. Slobodan Popovich has ended the hunger strike. Members of Freedom from Corruption are despondent that Popovich was not released from prison because the regime is so heartless. So heartless. So where are we now? Not very different. This is the... I keep wondering, how do I know what the general public likes? That's this. This is the general public. Okay. Now that you have chosen and submitted 3 different tactics, click the Tactics Queue button to open the Tactics Queue. View completed. You have character portraits. You have filters. You have monies. Manpower. The Tactics Queue is a very important screen in a force more powerful. It shows you all the tactics currently in progress and those that have completed. Various filters on the screen allow you to sort the data as you desire. You may also use the buttons, blah, 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 blah. Oh, the hunger strike is still in progress? No, it's not. Oops. Continue to struggle. So this is where the tutorial ends, basically, and I'm left to my own devices, and I'm gonna need help. First 2 pages of reading, which is extra interesting with just the PNG tuber thing. You can't even see my face or me doing wild gesticulations with my hands. Now that we have talked you through assigning and submitting 3 tactics, you may continue on your own. This corruption scenario that spans the course of 1 year. Hey, Grace! It's the mystery game! It will remain a mystery unless morale improves. As you progress, other characters and perhaps even groups will join your cause, thereby increasing the resources at your movement's disposal. Some tactics will succeed, others will fail. Some tactics will fail so terribly that members are imprisoned or killed. Those are real risks when using non-violent action to fight very oppressive opponents. As the strategic planner of a non-violent movement, then, your challenge is to create a message that resonates with people and groups and attracts them to your cause, mobilize those people and groups to participate in tactics, build up the strength of the society to resist oppression, and use the movement's strength to target the weaknesses of your opponent. It is a difficult task indeed, but success can be achieved. Be smart, be practical, be resourceful, and most importantly, be patient. Oh no. Is it the idea that you have to slowly build up support and skills at the same time, or is it like dice roll based? I don't know if it's dice roll based. I don't think so. I think on the back end it's entirely stats based. Because like here too, it says the graffiti campaign fails because Ivan Varumich lacks creativity, has no street smarts, and graffiti is not a great way to get your message across, and my message isn't compelling enough. So it's basically about increasing a bunch of invisible meters. Are there skill trees? There is a training tactic. So if I go here, build strength, train. Training can be used to boost the effectiveness of the members of your alliance. It is a fairly costly proposition in time, manpower, and money, but the rewards are far-reaching. Yeah. Okay. So here's what we got to do, right? Improve your movement's message. The craft message tactic is an essential early tactic. Select a coordinator with, if possible, a combination of these competencies: charisma, creativity, empathy, intelligence, vision, and writing. Repeat this tactic until the movement has a high-quality message, and then repeat it periodically to keep your message sharp. How do I know what the quality of my movement's message is? How do I know that? All categories. Hold on. Cultural attitudes? No. Training levels. Enthusiasm. Competencies. Policy support levels. This is that. This is message history. This is our queue. That's that. This is the city view. This is options. This is help. I don't know. Conduct other build strength tactics. Recruiting characters and organizing social events like meetings and parties are always good tactics. Social events help to improve character enthusiasm and can increase your membership, which is vitally important for more aggressive mass protest tactics later in the game. Fraternize, fraternize, fraternize. Find characters whose support for the regime is soft and fraternize. This tactic is essentially the warm-up to the more forceful recruit character tactic and is very helpful in the early stages. Assign tactics to all of your leaders. The steps above were simple and included only 3 of your leaders. Now go back and assign tactics to all of your leaders, and as long as you have money to spend, keep assigning tactics to everyone. Do not leave anyone idle. Keep up the pressure. Watch your funds. Continue conducting fundraisers. Although you will get monies from affiliated groups, fundraisers are the best way to keep your money movement financially secure. Continue with hunger strikes. Again and again and again until it succeeds. I guess that is part of it. That is how hunger strikes work, right? Watch your messages. You will get scores of messages during play. Watch and read them carefully. Pay particular attention to any messages that indicate that a certain character is interested in your movement, and then make immediate fraternize or recruit character attempts to sway him. These may fail. Read more tips in section 4.12. Oh my god. Where is section 4.12? That is... Wait. 4.12? Page 96. Shall I read those now? Page 96. Tips on play. Here are some additional tips that will help improve your play. Fear and enthusiasm are among the most important elements in the game. Groups and characters whose fear is higher than their enthusiasm won't change sides, regardless of who they support. Fear and enthusiasm also play a role in national elections. Elections are based on two factors, turnout and vote share. Turnout is how many people show up to vote. Vote share is who they vote for. High fear and low enthusiasm will reduce turnout. Vote share is affected by policy agreements or disagreements with the regime and the other alliances, and by the existence of independent political groups. So if you want to prevent independent political groups from siphoning off your votes, it may make sense to persuade them to join you before the election. To lower fear, it can be effective to defy the regime and show that they cannot impose their will. The display symbol, wear symbol, and dramatize tactics are good for this. Mass action such as organized concert and mass protest will also lower the fear of the general public. To raise enthusiasm, tactics such as organized social event, charity, community work, train, and publish website will serve to blah 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 blah. A character's public profile has a large effect on how easy it is for the regime to arrest him. Oh, that's interesting. Characters with a high public profile are often better at certain tactics, such as press conferences, meetings, that are seen by or involve the general population, but are also more visible and therefore more likely to be targeted by the regime. So public profile is kind of like fame. Sorry, trying to get a good entertaining view there. Sometimes the general public will mimic a political shift, such as a change in support levels, enthusiasm, or fear, undergone by a character or group. The chance of this happening is directly linked with the character or group's public influence. Therefore, the more influential characters and groups you persuade to support you or to agree with you about politics, the greater the chance the general public will do so as well. This matters a lot in elections. It is easier for a character or group to join the regime than any other alliance. If regime support is yellow and the character or group has no higher support for somewhere else, then that's enough for that character or group to join the regime. For anyone else, the support must be light or dark green. Remember, the regime's goal... Welcome back, Totally Fries. Remember that the regime's goal is not to beat you, it is to stay in power. This means that unless your goal is to get rid of the regime entirely, the regime may actually help you achieve your goals if you put enough pressure on it. The regime will not always engage in repression. Depending on the characteristics of the regime leader and the amount of pressure you are putting on the regime and its pillars of support, the regime may opt to grant concessions or otherwise try to give you some of what you want. The regime can't assign tactics to characters unless they strongly support the regime or belong to the police, military, or bureaucracy categories. So to prevent the regime from doing too many tactics, it may be possible simply to erode a character's support, even if you don't get him or her to leave the regime outright. Remember that the character or group's overall support is the highest of the three different support levels: legitimacy, ideology, and financial gain. Changes in support, fear, and enthusiasm are gradual. They won't change overnight. It is best to try small, strength-building tactics early in a scenario before you try anything more public or ambitious. The regime will notice you and start to do something about you, and you don't want this to happen before you are ready. Many tactics, particularly public tactics that require participation of local people who are not part of groups of your alliance, such as mass protest, strike, occupy building, funeral, etc., will require the support of the neighborhood or region in which the target is located. Attempting these tactics without high support in those areas will not turn out well, regardless of how strong or influential the groups in your movement are. Craft message tactic is very important, particularly in the early phase of the game. You will want to attempt it early in the scenario for some time, at least a couple of weeks. Your message quality will decline over time too. Having a good message will do you little good unless you use it. Most tactics are helped by a good message, but those in the communicate, build, strength, and deny categories are especially effective when your message resonates. When you adopt tactics designed to change the target's mind about a policy, if you should always have a policy focus. Preparation time. Okay, here, preparation time. I wondered how that worked. Preparation time is crucial for the success of most tactics. More preparation time will never hurt you, but if all your tactics take a long time, you may run out of time in the scenario before achieving your goals, or fall behind the schedule. Okay. The groups who are aligned with your movement will generate a steady trickle of money each week, but the fundraise tactics can be used to increase your money reserves even more. Okay. So let's get started, shall we? We want craft a message. And we want someone with charisma, creativity, empathy, intelligence, vision, and writing. Well, charisma, creativity, empathy, vision. And she doesn't have intelligence. John Duval has empathy. Slobodan has writing. Ivan has nothing. Kate Hirsch has writing, creativity, and intelligence. Taylor has technology, vision, and creativity. Okay, so we're gonna have Nicoletta craft a message. Crafting a message that rallies the public to your cause is critical for success. To develop a resonating message, the task character we'll need to spend some time on it. 10 days is a good start. Oh, here it says 21. Let's do 10. Because 21 is a lot of days. Have good communication skills. Have a sense of what is important to the public with regard to policies. Have strong media ties. Doesn't hurt either. If there are idle characters in your alliance, it is assumed they are helping the task characters out, but they are still free to be tasked with other things. People will get bored with hearing the same message over a month or more, so you may want to refresh your message by running the tactic every so often. Okay, they like this. They think this is good. Submit. That's one. Recruiting characters, organizing social events. Who can we recruit? John Duval is already with us. Everyone else is not that into it. But I read in a message, confiscation attempt on Grbach Motorworks, right? So, is there a tactic that can get me meeting? Is there a tactic with Grbach Motorworks? Retailer Association. Can we woo the Retailer Association? Right, Zeva is unaffiliated. Meet with. Meet with specific characters. Fraternize. Fraternize. Is that attack? No. Build strength. Fraternizing with the enemy is a relatively safe way to pull them to your side, or at least away from the opposing alliance, although it may cost Your task character some enthusiasm initially. People you have befriended are less likely to cause you harm, particularly if they have started to come around to your way of thinking. The policy chosen for discussion is either one that is listed as important in your strategic estimate or a key policy of the task characters. Well, Nicoletta is taken. Kate Hirsch is creative and intelligence. Let's get Will Taylor to talk to motorcycle manufacturers. Is that it? Motorworks. Motorcycle manufacturers. Their labor category. I can't talk to people. I can only fraternize with groups. That's fine. They don't like it. Okay, so that's not a good idea. Okay, so what if we go with the Retailers Association? That's okay. I think we're gonna do that. That's fraternize. Who do we have left? John Duval has empathy. Can he do a fundraiser? We need more money. Build strength fundraise. Choose a target. Who are we gonna fundraise from? The web design group this time. Then we have Slobodan. What can you even do? How about you write a letter, buddy? Send letter. Sending a letter is a cheap, easy way to attempt to convince the opposition to change their minds about a given policy. The policy chosen as the letter's central point is the one you chose for the policy focus in the current phase. Oh. It could get way more complicated. Increase the public profile. They don't like this. Gregory Jones. Save a lorg. We just do another hunger strike then? They don't like this either, but fuck it. Let's keep hungering ourselves. Fundraisers we did. Hunger strikes we're doing. Fraternizing. Organizing social events. Listen, Ivan. Ivan... I would love suggestions. Not from you, from the game. I would love if the game offered suggestions, because this shit is overwhelming. Okay. What were those fucking spreadsheets about then? How about we save? Assassination is a tactic? I don't think that's a tactic we can do. I think that's a tactic that they can do. Canvas. Harass official. No, we're going to keep it simple. We're not going to occupy a building. Dramatize. Dramatizing a bad situation with humor can make the opposition seem less scary and get the public enthusiastic on your message with the street theater, pranks, or some other creative endeavor. You can use drama to your alliance's advantage. Having a tasked character with public speaking skills, charisma, and creativity helps. You can blockade the city, you can overload facilities, you can boycott, you can do non-cooperation campaigns. No, I think that's because I think that's a strat that the regime can use. It's not something you can use. Because basically, the way the game rules are set up, right? It's like two. You have your faction, the movement, and you have the regime, and you both use the same system. So the computer uses the same system to influence or affect my groups and characters. Recruit character. I don't think there's anyone we can recruit. Organize social event. By organizing a social event, your alliance has the opportunity to attract more members and generate enthusiasm for your cause. The larger the event, the more people will attract, but the more resources it costs. The better prepared you are before the event, the more likely it is the event will be successful. And there's a meeting. Meeting is a smaller event. It is relatively inexpensive and takes relatively little preparation to hold a meeting, but attracts fewer people in exchange. Also, meetings tend to get boring time after time. And a party attracts more people, generates more enthusiasm, but requires more planning, costs a bit more to hold. 11 is very expensive. Prepare for 7 days. How about 5? And party. What would be a good place to party? Municipal court? No. City council office? No. City police? No, they're not gonna like it. The web design group we're already with. The retailers association? No. The motorcycle manufacturers? No. Okay, so meeting? No. To be alerted to the opposition's plans, infiltrate one of their groups. When a member of a group you've infiltrated is tasked with a tactic, you will receive a message notifying you of the tactic and when they plan to carry it out. When they plan to carry it out. When planning an infiltration, look for members of the regime-aligned groups who have individually switched to supporting your alliance. No, they don't like this either. Fraternize. Who can I fraternize with? Nobody. Bro, what can Ivan even do? Charity. Giving charity is a way to foster trust and demonstrate commitment to public well-being. Charity to the police? No. Motorcycle manufacturers? No. Defend? No. Hide, accuse, infiltrator, travel, leave country. Petition. To increase ideological support for your alliance, get petitions signed and delivered to groups or characters who you wish to sway. Petitions will address the policy you chose for policy focus in the current phase. If you didn't pick one, your coordinator will pick one for you. This may not be what you want, though. Choosing a task character who has a writing skill, a high public profile, and a high public influence increases your chances of successfully preparing for the task. Petition to the motorcycle? No, you don't like that. To Zeva? No. Meet with specific characters to try to convince them. Send a letter. Bro, Ivan can't do shit. Kate Hirsch has writing, creativity, and intelligence. So, what can she do? We're not going to recruit anyone right now. City police. Radomir. Oh no, but that's the mayor. How do I, Robert Namaramach. Team support, movement support, little. Policy preferences. Will Taylor. Will has a little bit more ability. Why is that? Will has already been selected. So I don't understand. You know what? Let's just move time forward now. Nicoletta Pantic has started to draft a message for freedom from corruption, one that will rally the public to the cause. Idle Alliance members will be helping with the process in between their own activities. Slobodan starts the hunger strike. John Duval begins fundraising. Travel restrictions ineffective. Curfew yields no effective. Victor Stoichko was unable to effectively resist travel within Uptown because Victor Stoichko can't manage crisis effectively. Victor Stoichko has no street smarts. Victor Stoichko is not exceptionally smart. This tactic has gone on too long. City Council office took over Grabach Motor Works today. People affiliated with Grabach Motor Works who oppose city government of Grabach lost their investment in the property and are really questioning the regime's legitimacy now. On the other hand, businesses and government officials affiliated with city government of Grabach are financially benefiting from the takeover and support city government. And Slobodan couldn't get shit done. Okay. Slobodan. I don't know. Can just skip at least a day. I thought we needed to skip more days. Retailers Association rebuffs Will Taylor's visits. Members of Web Design Group have lost enthusiasm for trying to be friendly with Retailers Association. Their efforts at fraternizing with Retailers Association were spurned because Web Design Group lacks training in political action. Will Taylor is not empathetic enough to lead such a difficult task. Will Taylor is not smart, doesn't have charisma, has no street smarts, didn't have enough enthusiasm to carry the task. Members of Web Design Group are apathetic. Freedom from corruption's message is not compelling enough. Okay. So Will Taylor, not a social guy. Alright? Noted. Can I do training? You can make a website, but later. Kate Hirsch. Kate Hirsch is intelligent. Can I train? Training can be used to boost the effectiveness of the members of your alliance. It is a fairly costly proposition in time, manpower, and money, but the rewards are far-reaching. People with training in specific areas are able to complete tactics that require those skills. Non-violent intervention. Political activity. Okay, political activity. Train the Web Design Group, please. Excuse me. No? You don't like this? What about support and logistics? What about non-violent intervention? Thank you, Red. So maybe political activity. Because you have support and logistics and non-violent intervention. Whatever, I'm gonna try it. Let's read the news. City government of Garbage launches websites. Karina Mudic has launched a website where the public can find information. Nicoletta Pantic has crafted a new message of remarkable quality. It should be very effective in rallying the public to freedom from corruption's causes. Okay, let's make a fucking website. Will Taylor, leader of the web design group. We have a message. It'll just take a day. No, not send letter. Publish website. Oh, I saw a little... Wait, I saw a little... There was a little handcuff symbol. Oh well. Nicoletta Pantic, you are our queen. Can I get you to meet with? What is this? What's the little handcuff symbol? Whatever. I would like you to meet with Seva Lahorg. Yes, you think that's a good idea. Thank you. I also think it's a good idea. Kate Hirsch. Will Taylor. Let's skip. Web design group funds freedom from corruption. Correct. Let's skip 10 days. We're in February 7th now. Oh. The government just held a rally. Message good. People think our message is good, John Duval. Web design group to train in nonviolent intervention. Ivan Varmic has begun a 5-day training in nonviolent intervention for web design group. Government rally held at Garbage police station. Alex Grant led a government rally. Who the fuck is Alex Grant? At Garbage police station, where throngs gathered to celebrate the rule of city government of Garbage. Members of city government of Garbage were invigorated by the response of groups in Uptown who appeared to support Radomir Gavrilovic more now. In fact, some local groups are even changing their views of freedom on expression to match those of city government of Garbage. No! Don't do that. How do we influence the general public? I guess we could do stuff to them, right? Will Taylor is busy. Radio. Surely, if you're in the radio, you can petition, display symbol, publish a newspaper, do a press conference. Hold a press conference to gather support over a large area, neighborhood or larger. Press conferences are very costly but have the potential to decrease the support for the opposing alliance and increase the support for the task alliance. Note that the larger the area, the larger the cost. Alliances using this will be made visible, which could be good or bad. In extremely repressive societies with low freedom of expression, a press conference may bring about police attention. That's fine. We'll choose Uptown. No, bad idea. Downtown. Also bad idea. Okay. I'm trying to kind of figure out the game's logic. Newspaper is a good idea. Can we try Uptown? How long will that take? 10 days. 11 days. We need 39 days to agree on this tactic. Oh my God. John Duval isn't doing anything. You can send a letter. No? Can he meet with? Can he meet with Zeva? Also not a good idea. Could do a petition. The motorcycle manufacturers. You guys don't like that, do you? Motorcycle manufacturers? Well, the problem is your leader is quite affiliated with the government. Defend, build strength. I'll have you organize a meeting with the cycleman. Hello. A cycleman. I think this is an okay idea. All right. The newspaper is gonna take a fucking really long time. Oops. Meeting with Zeva Lahore successful. Members of the University Student Association are enthusiastic that Zeva Lahore has reconsidered on matters of due process after meeting with Nicoletta Pantic. Nicoletta, my queen. She does have substantial regime support, though. She likes getting their money. Is there something else I can do? Attack. Harass official, occupy building, blockade city, overload facilities. Boycott is a high visibility yet safe effort to convince a large number of people not to purchase goods or services from a commerce group whose policies you want to change. These groups can be members of the opposing alliances or unaligned groups you wish to pull to your way of thinking. However, the political fallout from conducting a boycott is that the target group will resent being singled out. Non-cooperation campaign. Withhold money from the regime. That takes a long time too. These take a really long time. Build strength. Fundraise, recruit character, organize social event. We organize a party. Hey, radio DJs love a party. Okay. I think we're good because all Slobodan can do is a fucking hunger strike, and that doesn't seem to be doing any. I mean, he can write a letter, but nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit about him. Alex Grant, councilman. Boris Staley, judge. Victor Stoichko, police. He's kind of sympathetic, or he's afraid. Interesting. I'm gonna send a letter to the chief of police. Web design group fails training. Ivan Varunic was disappointed after a 5-day training session with web design group didn't seem to get through to them. They are no better at non-violent intervention because Ivan Varunic lacks the ability to train, is not empathetic, is not skilled in the art of public speaking, is too disorganized. He's just such a fucking loser. What is he good at then? Competency is nothing. He has... He goes. He doesn't like the regime. He likes the movement. He's young. He's a guy. Money. Communicate, distribute literature. Distribute literature refers to carrying a leaflets or flyers to specific locations within the cities or nation. The literature addresses a single policy chosen from the policies that are earmarked as important in your strategic estimate. If no policies were specified as important there, the tactics coordinator will choose a policy that is. When successfully executed, this tactic gets groups within the target location to shift their value of the addressed policy closer to the movement's manifesto. Professor characters' writing skills. Those groups have support logistics training are more likely to be successful. Okay. Can you go to downtown and distribute literature, please? Where are we, anyway, on, like, support? Uptown enthusiasm is very low, but downtown is pretty high. Interesting. I think we're full, right? Everyone is assigned? Okay. February 10th, 2005. Reforms passed! City government of Garbage changes policy on use of torture. City government of Garbage has passed a decree to give ground on matters of use of torture. Groups not aligned with city government of Garbage are enraged that Radomir Gavrilovich thinks nothing of passing decrees without regard to public opinion and see their rule as less legitimate. Groups that agree with the changes support the city government and Garbage even more for ideological reasons, and groups that disagree support them less. Don't know what that means. Do not know what that means. Freedom from Corruption launches website. Will Taylor has launched a website where the public can find information on freedom from corruption and learn how they can help support them. Website is successful. Was widely read over the past 2 days, and members of the public. Communications efficiency among Alliance members has increased as a result. You go! Will Taylor, you're finally good at something. Your enthusiasm is fucking low. How do I increase enthusiasm? Enthusiasm. Social events help to improve character enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. How do I increase? How do I increase your enthusiasm, buddy? Enthusiasm is so low. Will Taylor. You're the only one who doesn't have anything going on right now. I'm just gonna leave you alone for now. We'll see if it increases on its own. Radomir Gavrilovich wasting money again. This time, Radomir Gavrilovich has decided to spend the public's money on a collection of 226 vintage race cars. And how does the mayor of a small Eastern European city have enough, is so corrupt that he can get 226 vintage race cars and 4 cases of champagne? An attempt at organizing a meeting for motorcycle manufacturers by John Duval has ended in disappointment. John Duval is too disorganized. The government is too repressive. Zeva Lahorg would like to join us but fears the repercussions. Zeva. John Duval, you have empathy. Hey, Kuribu. John Duval, what is empathy? How do empathy be good? What empathy be good for? Empathy, raid building. No, that's not empathy. Recruit character. Could we try to recruit Zeva? Yeah, she's green. She really supports the regime also, though. I don't understand how that works, but we'll try. Build strength. Recruit character. Your alliance is as powerful as the people you recruit into it. The ability to attract people to your cause depends on how persuasive your task character is, as well as how much your target agrees with your alliance's manifesto. Let's try it. Yeah, green. Super green. Interesting. So this chart does help me. The tactics and competencies. Charts in the PDF manual. Charts at the end of the super helpful. Helpful. I think everyone is busy, right? No, Will Taylor isn't. Will Taylor has technology, vision, and creativity. So, technology, what can that get us? In the chart, if we go to the chart, technology is here, right under here, right under me. I see nothing. Technology is good for published website. We've done that. And upgrade communications. Interesting. He also has vision. Vision, I feel, yeah, vision has a lot more options. Vision, blockade, boycott, change leader, charity. What else does he have? Vision and creativity. Craft message. He can work on craft message? Maybe he can work on craft message. Well, let's get you to craft a message. Or not? Craft message. Just for like 15 days, alright? Because what year? It's 18th of February. We still have plenty of time. How are we with the general public? Enthusiasm is growing. Support for freedom of corruption isn't. Oh wait, hold on. Game small, desktop off. John Duval recruiting has begun. Will Taylor has started to draft a message. The website created by city government of Grbach failed to attract any worthwhile attention because they're fucking losers. It was basically a waste of time and resources. An attempt to organize a party for WBRK radio by Nicoletta Pantichos ended in disappointment because Nicoletta is too disorganized, the government is too repressive. Damn. Nicoletta has writing, charisma, vision, empathy, and street smarts. Let's have Nicoletta do some display some symbols. I think disorganized may like have to do with preparation. Everyone else is busy. John Duval is currently... What is John Duval currently doing? John Duval. John Duval's currently recruiting. Wish me luck. Lack of people. We don't have enough people to work on all the scheduled tactics. That means we may have to cancel some tactics, too many tactics are scheduled at the same time, or recruit some groups with more people to help us. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Develahork uninterested. Doesn't have the vision. Not skilled in the art of public speaking. Doesn't have enough charisma. No street smarts. Didn't have enough enthusiasm. Yeah. How do I gain enthusiasm? Anyway. Empathy. Blockade. Canvas. Distribute literature. Dramatize. Fraternize. Fundraise. What if we cozy up? RTL is getting there though. The Retailers Association. What if we cozy up with I don't think we can cozy up with the general public, right? That's not a thing. John Duval. Build strength. Fraternize with... No. I'm getting into this, but it's very slow. It's very different to what I usually play. Display symbol delayed due to lack of resources. We do not have the resources to carry out display symbol this time. We're delaying it 1 day. Okay. Letter on freedom of expression ignored. Slobodan Popovic sent a letter regarding freedom of expression to Viktor Stoichkov, who proceeded to completely ignore it because no vision, no creativity, not empathetic, not exceptionally smart. Yikes. What? No, well, you can't do anything anyway because you're in prison. You can't do shit. How do we get him out of prison? We need to cozy up. To get out of prison, we need to cozy up to... We got DJs. To the court. Wait, hold on. Oh, John Duval's already... John Duval's already into it. Okay. So if we can get Boris Staley... Then we can get the court on our side. Alright. Who is free? None of you. None of us are free until all of us are free. Motorcycle. John Duval doesn't care. Okay. John Duval, can you go tell your friend? Can you go fraternize with your own fucking buddy on the court? Alright? I don't know if fraternize is the right thing. Now that I think about it. Build strength. Fraternizing. The enemy. Oh, this makes sense. It makes sense to me, like, intuitively. I don't know if it actually makes sense in terms of the rules of the game. Will Taylor has finished working on the message. Okay, so Will Taylor is done. Will Taylor has technology, vision, and creativity. What can we do with some vision? Mass protest. You can meet with. Enthusiasm is very low, however. Where was meet with? Meet with or Staley. No, bad idea. Okay. Bad idea. Forget about it. Will Taylor. Technology, vision, creativity. Should he work on the website again? Creativity. Creativity doesn't have much. Publish website. Send a letter. Send letter. Send a letter to Boris Staley. Nope. Technology, vision, creativity. Technology. Upgrade communications. Can we even do that? Good character. No. There. Press conference. Upgrade communications. Efficient and secure communications are critical for maintaining a cohesive, organized movement. Upgrading communications not only affects your equipment, but also what, when, and how information is transferred among your members. You don't want me to do that? No, most of you think this is a good idea. No, one of you thinks this is a good idea. Whatever, I'll do it. Time is passing, though. It's already the 5th of March, and I don't feel like I've made much progress at all. Leaflets comparing the policies of freedom from corruption and the city government of Russian elections were successfully distributed in downtown. Ivan Varomich are more enthusiastic now, especially since they have convinced groups in downtown to agree more with members of freedom from corruption on matters of elections. The radio would like to join us, but they fear the consequences. Okay. The DJs are onto us. Gregory Jones. Can we meet with you, Greg? Nonviolent intervention. Blockade. Funeral. Lockout. Protest. Political. No. Non-cooperation campaign. Picket. Strike. Train and nonviolent intervention. Yeah. Support and logistics. Blockade city. Community work. Distribute literature. I'm just gonna have you distribute literature. Ivan. Is that okay? In Uptown. No, bad idea. Radio station? Good idea. Alright. Anyone else free? No. Graffiti appears across town. Literature delayed due to lack of resources. That's fine. Nicoletta is now free. Support and logistics. Dramatize, fraternize, fundraise. Do we need money? We're kind of okay on the money front. Lockout, mass protest. Organize concert. Shit. That feels very dramatic. I like it. A concert is a huge event that has the potential to attract many people to your cause, but take a lot of time to plan, are expensive to hold, and are only effective if held infrequently. The more support you have and the longer you plan, the better the chances of success. Let's try it. Star Square. Economic significance. So we are nowhere near the end. Your botch municipal court have lost enthusiasm for trying to be friendly with... Okay. Lacks training and political action. John Duval doesn't have vision. John Duval is not smart. John Duval fucking sucks. That sucked. That was a waste. John, you don't know anything. You have empathy. That's literally all you have. That's like... That's less than I have. Canvas. Charity. Distribute literature. Fraternize. How about you go fraternize? Is that not... Well, is that what you did? What did you do? What did you do, John? You did. You tried to fraternize and it sucked. Okay. So fraternizing isn't your strong suit. Fundraise, funeral, harass official, mass protest, organize a meeting. How about we try that? John, you try that? Defend the build strength. Organize a meeting with the municipal court. Nope. Nope, they don't like that. What else can I get in empathy? Press conference. Recruit a character. Send a letter. Train political. I don't think... man. I'm just going to put you on fundraising, John, because... I don't know what you can do. Like a press conference. Is that... That does have empathy as one of the things. Let's try a press conference for you, John. In the city as a whole. No? You all think this is a terrible idea. In Uptown. In downtown. No? Oy. Okay. You're just gonna fundraise then. From the fucking web design group. Hi, Gabby. Alex Grant wasting money again. This time, Alex Grant has decided to spend the public's money on sprawling beach house with 3 square kilometers of formal gardens, a home theater, and imported hand-painted tile floors and ceilings, and a yacht completely made of teak. Jesus. 2.31 satirical humor. Histic news articles. Kind of out of tune with the rest of the game. John Duval starts founding potential groups. The Garbage Municipal Court will join us, but they fear the consequences. Newspaper delayed. Slobodan Popovic was interrogated by city police and gave up information vital to University Association plans. Popovic is now terrified of what might happen next. Okay, how do I get a group to join? Did it just say recruit? Fraternize. Is that what we have to do? We have to fraternize. But who's good fraternizing? Who's good at fraternizing? Fraternize. You need charisma. You need empathy. You need intelligence. We only have... the only one who can do that is Nicoletta, and she's fucking busy. Okay, Kate could potentially do it too, I think. You motherfucker, I hate you, so you're going on hunger strike. Alright, what else we got? Hunger strike. Will Taylor successfully improved our communications efficiency. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Will. Technology, vision, creativity. Fraternize. Fraternize requires vision. We have no enthusiasm, though. Send letter. Recruit character. Recruit character. Recruit character requires charisma, empathy, public speaking, and vision. I have vision. Can we try to recruit? Can you try to recruit someone? Who are we trying to communicate? We are trying to get... We can get Kate Hirsch. No, because Kate Hirsch is already a member of our group. We can get potentially Gregory Jones. I think we need to fraternize with Gregory Jones is what we need to do. I don't know if that's gonna work. Gabby, this game is explicitly designed as an interactive training manual for non-violent resistance movements.
You're welcome, comrade worker. You want some vodka?
That's literally what we're doing, yes. These fuckers again. Government rally. Ivan Varomich has been arrested. Ivan Varomich was arrested while attempting to distribute literature tactic. Police sources indicated that further arrest may follow should Ivan Varomich cooperate with authorities. Obviously, the need to control dangerous antisocial elements in our society is paramount, said an anonymous police source. The radio is now a member of Freedom from Corruption and the court. Okay, So Ivan went to prison, but we got more groups, which means we got more characters, we got more money. Gregory Jones still needs work, as does Boris Staley, but the groups are ours. We just need to cozy up to Zeva. Can I cancel? Fraternize. That's still fine. Publish newspaper. Oh, Varmich can't distribute, obviously. So more people in prison. Let's move time forward. Because I'm wondering, how do I actually achieve my goals? Slobodan release attempt ends in despair. That's fine. I wanted him to despair, so that's okay. Because my goals are... victory conditions. Free Slobodan Popovic. Launch a corruption investigation. Force resignation. So, now that we have more support, and we have more leaders... No, we don't. That's interesting. We don't have more leaders because these guys, Gregory Jones and Boris Staley, yeah. Zeva Lahorg can join us. Need to find a way to recruit her. Then how do we put pressure? Occupy building, dramatize, overload facilities. We need to put pressure on the regime, and I don't know how to do that. Recruit character. Web design group funds, freedom from corruption. Yeah, fine. Ah, shit! I should have given him something to do. After having the opportunity to chat with activists under the direction of Will Taylor, WBRK's radio's fear of the unknown has abated a bit. They are now closer to supporting Freedom from Corruption's position on corruption and consider them more legitimate than before. Yeah, well, they joined us. So I would think so. John Duval has empathy. Empathy is useful for recruit character, but I don't need to recruit character. I need to... build strength. I don't think he's powerful enough to recruit. Infiltrate, train, fraternize. Craft message, charity. What can you do from prison? Yeah. Send a letter. To Boris Staley, who's a friend of ours, said like, hey, get me out of jail, motherfucker. Gregory Jones. Doc Watlov? Victor Stoiko? Is like Victor on our side? Like what the... He's the police chief. Can't be on our side. Let's have Ivan do a hunger strike. And Will. Will has technology, vision, and creativity. Will, what can you do for us? Vision. Recruit character. Send a letter. Strike. Train. Technology, vision. Where's technology? These charts are so hard to read. Let's publish a website, I guess. Fuck it, that's what you're good at, right? We already have a website, but... I can't. Because we've already had... No. I'm good. Okay. We just need to recruit Zeifa Lahorg, but I need Nicoletta for that, I think. And that's gonna take 12 days. Ivan begins Hunter Strike. Gabach changes policy on elections. City government of Gabach has passed a decree to give a ground on matters of elections. Groups not aligned with the city government of Gabach are enraged. Okay. That feels very generic. That's it. That's it. Ivan doesn't get anything. Underground newspaper changes minds. After reading the underground newspaper published by Kate Hirsch, people in Uptown who are already at odds with the city government are coming around to Freedom from Corruption's way of thinking about elections. Even some regime-aligned groups are rethinking their stance. Yes. Yes. Okay. Fair. Unemployment. Economic well-being. Health. Literacy. Support for city government is dropping. Support for me is going up, baby! Okay, so Katie... Writing, creativity, intelligence. Writing. Publish website or send a letter. Hey, Katie. Hey, Katie. Send a letter to Zava. Please, for me. Warm her up. It is now April 13th, 2005. Sponsor. After a grand show raised spirits and fists for freedom from corruption, supporters dispersed personally and with heightened enthusiasm for the cause. I think it means it worked. Okay. Alex Grant recruiting Zeifa Lahorg. Alex Grant has begun recruiting. New on the scene, Maria Kovacic has begun to take more than a passing interest in the conflict and has joined WBRK Radio. Brian Rakov has begun to take more than a passing interest in the conflict and has joined WBRK Radio. The concert promoted by Nicoletta Pantich was a smashing success. Freedom from Corruption's groups in the neighborhood are reporting an influx of enthusiastic new members, and there is a general feeling of well-being across the entire area. But it's attracted attention. Okay, so the radio has more people, including people that are aligned with my cause. The web design group is less so? I don't understand. Zeva is under the process of being being recruited. The general public is starting to like us. How do I make demands? Nicoletta. Maria has street smarts. Brian knows fucking nothing. Nicoletta, can you do some training, please? Train. Support and logistics. To the radio. Yeah, you like that? You like that? City Council. We can start putting pressure on the City Council, maybe. Street Smarts. What does Street Smarts get us? Blockade City. Canvas. Community work. Display symbol. Dramatize. Fraternize. Harass official. Interesting. You want to harass an official? Oh, you can't. We're not going to attack. Deny. No, I need to know what Street Smarts gets me. Infiltrate. Occupy a building. Wear the symbol. Well, you're just gonna walk around wearing a little patch. How about that? How brave of you. Become a moving billboard. Maybe go to prison. Where? In downtown or in uptown? Or at the police station? In Star Square. That's where you're gonna do it. And Brian, again, has nothing. So Brian is just gonna fundraise, I guess. Do we need money? Not really. Okay, what does he have? No, he has nothing. He has no training levels, and he has no skills. He has public influence, which is good for, I don't know, communication? A press conference? Hold a press conference to gather support over a large area. Oh, fuck it. I'm gonna make you hold a press conference. And, no, you know, they say, the advisors say, don't fucking do it, bro. He's terrible on the radio. I'm just gonna have you fundraise for a bit. Right? Whole canvas. What does canvas need? Plenty of stuff. Nuh-uh. Is there one of these that needs nothing? No. Fundraise. Fundraise from the municipal court, please. They're on our side now. I wonder if there's a list of video games based on documentaries. Yeah? I can't think of many. The regime is taking notice of us and maybe starting to think of us as a threat. Our members may be at some risk. Now would be a good time to take note of the status quo settings for policies such as use of torture, due process, and rights to privacy if they are active, as those settings will define the extremes to which the regime will go to stop us. Charity campaign. Okay, so anything. I don't know how this works. And I still don't know how to like actually get my my thing. I don't know how to get my thing. How do I accomplish my goals? What is it? What does the manual say? The manual say continue with hunger strikes. Meetings, parties, mass protest. Good character stuff above. Fundraisers. I'm just. It's not clear to me. How I achieve my goals, because like now I understand I'm like eroding support for the regime, increasing support from myself, but like I have explicit goals, victory conditions that require things. How do I get the city to launch a corruption investigation, you know? I already had the fucking civil court on my side, almost. Boris. I need to cozy up to Boris. View current. Fundraise, where symbol. Anyway, everyone's busy, so we're just gonna pass the time. T-shirts appear everywhere! There we go, we got fucking T-shirts, bro. Okay, so street smarts. Smarts of the streets. Canvas. Canvas. Before going to the trouble of calling for an elections, it is prudent to discover whether people will even bother to vote, regardless of who they vote for. Is there one that's called for elections? Train, reorganize alliance, upgrade communications, defend. No, there's not. Use this tactic to canvass a neighborhood, city, or region and find out what the voter turnout would be if an election were to be held today. It is better to ask an enthusiastic group with canvassing because it is a tiring task. Also note that if freedom of expression is very low, canvassing may draw attention. How do I get someone out of jail? I really need to read the rest of the manual. Canvass the whole fucking city. I want to know. Zeva Lahork, interested in city government. Alex Grant was able to persuade Zeva Lahork that city government of Quebec's cause is worthwhile. God damn it. Expected voter. Okay, so there's a lot of enthusiasm. And there's a fundraising starting. Street smarts. Blockade city. Community work. Let's do some community work. Let's build strength, right? Doing community work is a way to foster a trust and demonstrate commitment to public well-being. Religious and academic professional groups are particularly adept at carrying out blah, 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 blah. Downtown, you want some community work, buddies? David Lahorg is a traitor. Website sucks. David Lahorg is now an enemy of the people. How do we get her? Policy preferences. Will Taylor. Will Taylor, what do you know? You have technology, vision, and creativity. I am losing grip. Upgrade communications. Creativity. Publish website. Creativity is fucking dramatized. Will, you want to do some drama? Dramatize. Organizing a strike. I don't know what else to do. John Duval provides aid to the city police. I don't know what. Okay. We made the police like us a little more. John, what else can you do? Can you raise funds? Sorry, can you raise funds? Not raise funds. Do charity for motorcycle manufacturers. Maybe it'll make them like us. It's weird because the retail association is they like the regime more, that's all. The city government spokesman mentioned the release today that freedom from corruption has been moved into a priority list for suspicion of anti-government activities. We have been investigating members. Okay. I don't think you can make... I think the police will always be on the side of the regime, but by making them like you, they are maybe less likely to go after you and arrest you. That's my assumption. Training. Alex Grant wasting money. Letter on dupe. Kate Hirsch sent a compelling letter to Zeva Lahorg, who decided that freedom from corruption might be right about due process. The letter has attracted the attention of the public as well. Okay. Zeva now likes the regime less. Can Kate Hirsch recruit? Recruit is an R. Charisma. Empathy. Public speaking and vision. You have none of those. Okay, so you can't do that. But we can fraternize. God, this sucks. I need to have this inside the game. Writing, creativity, intelligence, charisma, empathy, intelligence. Let's just try it. Let's try fraternizing with the Retailers Association. No? Some of you think it's okay. I'm gonna try it. And yeah. JT delayed. Okay, successful training. Nicoletta, you are so capable and great. Can you recruit Zeva? Slobodan. We're gonna hunger strike. Yeah, we don't need to see that. Government rally. Hunger strike. Gregory Jones leaves alliance. Who the fuck is Gregory Jones? Gregory Jones was a DJ. Was he one of the losers that sucked? He has charisma. God damn it. We got money from the municipal court. Community project. Develhorg is interested. Okay. What can we do? What can we do? Come on. Come on, come closer. Zeva. Who else is available? Brian. Brian knows a little bit about the support and logistics of Dick and Balls, now at least. He could do Blockade City, he could community work. Dramatize a funeral, fundraise, lockout, occupy a building, organize a concert, organize a party. You want to organize a party, buddy? Organize a party at the radio. I don't have resources. After having the opportunity to chat with activists under the direction of Kate Hirsch, Retailers Association Fear the Unknown has abated a bit. They are now closer to supporting Freedom from Corruption's position on freedom of expression. Hello, thank you, Kate. Kate and Nicoletta are our queens. Kate. Can we do something? Can we do something a little more aggressive? Writing, creativity, intelligence. Writing, creativity. What can you do with intelligence? Intelligence seems very like blockade the city. Craft a message. Yeah, let's craft a message, Kate. It's good to craft a message. Build strength. Craft message. Kate Hirsch, crafting a message. Downtown work was well received. How do I release a character from prison? Mass protest. Oh my god! Characters who do a hunger strike can actually die. That's hilarious. How do you... Okay, you have street smarts, Maria. How we can use street smarts? Hunger strike can lead to death. Street smarts, blockade, canvas, community work, display symbol, dramatize, fraternize, harass official. I would like you to harass an official. You can't. I don't know why. Hide? No. Infiltrate. Occupy building. Hi, Mastroid. Wear symbol. I guess we could do something with like symbols. That city jail. Hell yeah. It's May 8th, 2005. I do feel like we are making progress, but this is taking really long. Nicoletta Pantic evades police. Jesus. Ah, Maria Kavocic was arrested. T-shirts appear everywhere. I have 3 people in jail now. What happens if you go on a hunger strike? People like you more? I might go for a little longer. I want to see what happens. Hunger strike, charity campaign. Zeva, come on! Public speaking. Ugh. Nicoletta. Writing, charisma, empathy, street smarts. Like, let's do something hardcore, you know? How's the 1070? I have successfully... Where is it? I have successfully turned my old computer into one that can actually play games with Bazite. That was kind of fun. The other one I put in my computer, and I benchmarked it against the 1660 Super, And I have determined that the difference is marginal, like percentage or two. But the 1660 is a generation ahead and still has modern driver support. And I think for my main machine, that is a little more important than just raw power. So I'll have to find another use for it. But the other one has a nice home. Just waiting to see if Steph wants to actually use it for anything. But the computer is set up, so that's fun. It's fun to play with computers. Writing charisma. No, okay. You have nonviolent intervention and support and logistics. I want something big. Blockade city. Boycott. Funeral. Lockout. What's a lockout? You put two 1070s in alternate frame rendering mode in one rig, but I don't help with driver support. No, I don't. No. No, especially with Linux and stuff, I'm not gonna... But, I keep thinking of new uses for computers, and I keep collecting more computers, so... Harass official. Let's fucking harass, the president, or whatever. Look at his stupid face. He looks like George W. Bush. Hoarding is a hobby. I say, looking over there at like a Windows XP laptop, a Commodore 64, a VCR, several Ataris in boxes. I'm having a good time. It's not bad if you enjoy it and the stuff is cool. Boycott. No, picket strike. Non-cooperation. Bop, 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 bop. What's up? Chicken butt. Organize concert. Occupy building. Petition. They announced a remake for A Force More Powerful. The game of non-violent strategy. Where do I get 7th guest? Why? It seems so unnecessary. Petition. How do I get... Where's petition? Train. Wasn't there already like a VR 3D remake? Man. I want to do something dramatic. Publish a newspaper. That's not dramatic. Strike. A limited strike. Let's do it. People like us? A rally? Hold on. A rally we could do. Or a march? A march is an exuberant demonstration of resistance against your opponent. It has the capability of reaching all the groups throughout the march neighborhood. However, because it attracts attention, it may devolve into violence if not well handled. And a rally is loud stationary. Let's do a march. In front of the city jail. Mass protest delayed. Bail on due process fails to pass. Zeva the Hork has begun an attempt to convince Kate Hirsch. Fuck you. Motorcycle manufacturers is now a members of the city. Yeah, of course they are. Fucking hicks. I need to kill Zeva the Hork, but this is non-violent, so I can't. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. Assassinations? The regime is allowed to do assassinations, and I'm not. John Duval provides aid to motorcycle manufacturers. Great. Doesn't matter anymore. Okay, Maria can't do a hunger strike. Website sucks. Party sucks. Everything sucks. I don't know what to do anymore. Can you do like a press conference? In downtown? No. Nobody wants that. Oh. The motherfuckers are always holding rallies. Karina recruiting Brian Rakov. Kate Hirsch doesn't give a shit. Policy. Government rally. John Duval. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm tired, and I feel like I guess this is a very typical thing for a non-violent resistance movement. I feel despondent. I feel like hopeless. The municipal court is now a member of the city government? Jesus. Well, there is potential for violence, but it's against me only. Mired in the complexity. The problem too is my attention span is total shit. John Duval. Brian is all enthusiastic. Brian. Organize a party, buddy. No? They don't want you to organize a party. You suck at organizing parties. Oh, just fundraise. Okay. Let's do that. Slowdown strike falters. Members are apathetic. Yeah, so am I. I need something to go my way. Nicoletta's not interested. Message. Fundraising campaign. I'm just gonna wait and see how the rally goes. Yvonne resists interrogation. Because you're actually a badass? The radio is now a member of the city government? How did that happen? I thought I had you. Why are you assholes supporting the regime? So mean. Message good. Ryan evades police. Radomir is wasting money again. There is a curfew. And there's fundraising. Nicola has been detained. Has she been arrested? Is she? No, she was released. No, she wasn't released? No, she was released. So it just delays whatever she was doing by a day. Oh. Recruiting Kate Hirsch. They're recruiting Kate Hirsch. Kate Hirsch doesn't care. She's ride or die. Rally. Where are we? How are we doing? Support is low. Support for us is high. How do I make Uptown enthusiastic? I don't know. I just want to see the. I just want to see whatever. I want to see the rally. Or I don't have enough people. Now there's checkpoints in Uptown. I just don't have enough people, period. Like, I'm just screwed. Yeah, I need 18 people and I only have 16. Kate Hirsch. Build, organize a party. At the radio. It's gonna take 13 days or whatever. I don't even know if I can do this. They're recruiting. Checkpoints, you'll know the rest. Kate Hirsch has been detained. But she was also released. Okay. These oppressive regimes, man. Ryan Rakov is interested because he's an asshole. Party was a disappointment. God, the government keeps throwing fucking rallies. The Kate Hirsch is interested. Okay, I think we can give up. That's what I think. I clearly don't understand how the game works. All the DJs love me, and yet the radio is aligned with the government. Well, I'm gonna save, but I'm probably not gonna continue this game. By which I mean this scenario. I think what I'm gonna do, because I want to give this game, like, here's the thing, this game, particularly to me as someone with the ADHD and whatever, you know, it's not that compelling to play. And I see something in it, but I also see a lot of, like, kind of... Let's get a decent, quiet song. I also see a lot of crustiness in the design. It is teaching me some things, but it's mostly teaching me to be frustrated with it because it takes so much time to get into it. It has a thick manual. It has charts I need to consult. It's not necessarily supposed to be fun, right? And I don't think what I can do is do a survey of how realistic this is as a game that is supposed to teach you how to run a non-violent resistance movement. I can get some impressions about that, you know, but not really all of it. But I do want to know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it for the video. So I will play at least a little bit more of it. I don't know, I'll have to at least win one scenario, and this is the basic tutorial scenario, and it takes so long, and I'm so out of my depth that that doesn't spell good omens for me doing this very quickly. But that's fine. I was expecting to spend like at least 4 streams on this. It might be a little more on that, but I think what I'm gonna do is I am gonna run through the rest of the manual, this thick boy. I'm gonna try to wrap my head around what it is. I don't know how I'm gonna plan this. I might throw in a couple of extra stream days over the next few weeks, because otherwise it's gonna take forever. We'll see how that goes. You know, I'll announce it in the usual places and whatever. Yeah, what a curious game. I think the problem is, I could tell from the beginning, as similar to the Wild Wild West game, the story of the game and how it came to be and what it is and supposed to be is much more interesting than the game itself. But I'm gonna have to put in several dozen hours into the game in order to be able to say that. And also, the game has a sequel. And I'm gonna be playing that too. And the sequel maybe will be a little bit more streamlined. We'll see. But I will definitely also need to just have music playing or something. I'll need to set up a proper strategy game soundtrack or some shit, because it's quite a quiet and boring game. I will return on Tuesday. I'm working more on the Aruba game. A force even more powerful to go even further beyond. We are raiding into our good friend Noya in Rain, who is right now coding something beautiful, I bet. I will be back on Tuesday. Thursday again with this, hopefully with a little bit of a manual. I should be back on the camera. I am secretly working on a new video. Don't expect it this month. Expect it in the next month. In the meantime, I believe that the phrase is that today is the day. Thank you, Sally and Mastroid, for your wonderful hospitality. Thank you, Red, for reminding me what day it is. Thank you, Disty, for providing consultation. If you still have any input on the content of the documentary, I would still gladly hear it. Because I do still think the video will be a sensitive thing. Oh shit, the timer is almost over. Bye-bye, I love you.
Thank you for enjoying the BOBSTREAM. I love you all.